Let's see who comes on. What's that?
The ice cream truck is
Really?
off the block.
Oh my god. It sounded like that. We're live.
I know. That was. He bought that on line and sinker.
Oh, I thought you were serious.
Give me a coconut crunch, whatever those
Oh
are.
my
those
God.
Human bars.
All right, we're going live. We are live. I have to phase out. Here we go, everybody. Hello, everybody. This is Charles, and we are coming to you live, streaming for the Cruise Mojo show. It's been a couple of weeks since we last broadcast, so great to see some people here. We got some people joining us, not as many as usual, but let's see how we do. And we are, and with me today, Dirk had to take the day off. Dirk is fine. He's at home in Tennessee, relaxing, adhering to the quarantine, and chilling out there. And with me is Ben. Ben, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a long time. I'm glad you could join us tonight. What's happening, my man?
I've missed you guys. I've missed everybody, and I was kind of thinking that Cruise Mojo turned into Cruise No Show.
Oh, how long did it take you to think of that?
It came off the top of my head, man. I just thought of it.
Oh, crazy. You're out of your mind. We're delirious up here, folks.
Oh my God, cabin fever! It's just it's unprecedented. This is just I don't know what to say.
I don't know what to
It's
say
terrifying.
either. It's a horrifying. It's a horror movie come true. That's for sure. And we were talking. We started talking about this coronavirus, Dirk and I, on our show for since January,
Mm-hmm.
like late January, and we were like kind of making light of it, not making light of it, but not really thinking that it was any kind of big deal, because I guess we all felt like it wasn't going anywhere, that it was gonna just stay in China and never really get to our shores, and next thing you know, we're engulfed. We're
Yep.
engulfed with this terrifying scenario.
Well, it wasn't
And-
just you guys who really take it. I wouldn't want to say seriously, but really didn't worry about it at that point. Everybody did. Nobody expected this. This is unprecedented, like I said.
Unbelievable.
It's decimated the cruise industry. I mean, I don't know.
Decimated. I think, and we got some people listening. I think it's like forever changed. I think that it's like, I'm not sure if it'll ever get back to where it was, the cruise industry.
That industry, many industries, life is going to change. I think after this, the way we live it.
No one
the way we
knows.
look at it.
Yeah, no one knows. I think the only thing that'll save us, and when I save us, I think the only thing that's going to save our old way of life is the fact that people just want to return to normalcy in some way. Like people
I
just
agree, but
want.
some people just might not have the resources to be able to do that, and that's why the whole landscape of this culture or life, being an American, it's going to change whether we like it or not.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. That's
And
very
in
depressing.
fact, it might widen the margin.
Oh, you got some kind of
between-
feedback going on in the back. Oh, that might
Can
be
you hear me. Okay.
That's me. I'm sorry. That was
Yeah.
this cruise ship video I have going on.
Oh, so you're trying to ruin my train of thought, but I'm not going to be ruined. So, it might even widen the margin between the haves and the have-nots. It might even become, the haves and everybody else has nothing.
It could
Because
be. Who knows? I don't think that the government would ever let that happen, but who knows that there's no normal anymore. There's no new anything anymore. It's a whole new way of thinking, a whole new life. But like I said, the only thing that will save us is the entrepreneurial spirit. I can't spell that. I'm exhausted. I work today. I'm exhausted, man.
Okay.
But and I think the spirit of the human spirit, I think will bring us back to where we hope to be in the near future. I just don't know. Thank you. Oh, Kirk is on. Sue is here. What's up, guys? Andrew, what's up, my man?
Oh, Andrew. I remember Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew's the guy that you stole the name from. What I forget the name of it.
It's been like
we have a short attention span, but whatever it was brilliant. I remember it being great.
It was that good that we could remember. No, it was landlocked.
Landlocked. That's
Andrew,
right.
Andrew came up
Bernilda, what's going on, Bernilda? Yeah, Andrew came up with that. We shamelessly took it from them.
Yeah. And well, and getting back to this changing landscape, like I said before. I mean, it might change so many different things. A redistribution of wealth. It might, this might be the wake-up call that we never saw coming. That we needed to see that reality is we don't have anything under control, and at any point we can lose control.
Yeah, this is terrible. I wanted to pop on. We missed everybody last week. I've got some of our regulars are here. Hello, everybody, and sorry about last week. I've been working nonstop, as everybody knows. I work in the healthcare industry, and I'm not working from home. I've actually been going to work every day. I feel like I'm a soldier in the Revolutionary War, Ben.
No, more like a general. More
yeah.
like a general in the Revolution. I've seen you in action.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, but it's been exhausting, and somebody posted a sunset in the group. We, Dan, I have this group on Facebook, and Dirk and I, and we have a new moderator.
I don't know who you're talking
Larry.
about. You said somebody. I'm Ben.
Oh, Ben. We have Dirk. Dirk helps me. Dirk is a major player in the group, and we have Larry, who now helps us out. And thankfully,
I haven't heard of Larry.
Larry's a new moderator. He helps out the group. He helps out Dirk. He's a great guy, really smart guy.
Larry Wilson?
No, I don't want to say his last name because he's. I try not to say it.
Oh, I thought it was somebody. I thought it was somebody we knew jointly. I thought it was Larry Wilson.
No, who's that? I know a Larry Wilson. What are you, crazy? What's going on with you today? No, Larry is a guy. He helps us out. You're out of your mind. And he's very knowledgeable in the cruise industry.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, really experienced cruiser and big contributor to the page. He's been with us from the very early days, so he's helping out. I've been all consumed. No. He's just an avid cruiser, like most of us in the group. Yeah,
I get it. Mm-hmm.
And but knows Norwegian, huge fan of Norwegian, so he's been helping out Dirk, and really has been an amazing asset. And thanks to Larry, special thanks to Larry if he's listening, because I haven't had a chance to even text him because I've just been working like crazy. When I get home, I'm psychologically and physically and emotionally exhausted, so I can't even like.
Well, when I can, you call me. I give you a boost.
Yeah, you do.
You need a
tremendous.
boost after a while.
Yeah. You've been helping
terrible,
us out. Yeah.
But you're definitely on the front lines, and it goes without saying that everybody. I'm sure I share the same sentiment that how thankful we are, and I heard yesterday that Mayor de Blasio had said that they need 45 to 50,000 volunteer healthcare workers. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, this major need. So we're working through it. We're up here in New York, ladies and gentlemen. We're up here battling on the front lines of this. I can't even say the word anymore because it makes me sick. It just makes me feel like this. You know what I'm talking about.
It's a pandemic.
And we're on the front lines of the pandemic, and we are working very hard up here, up in New York and the Northeast, New York, New Jersey, to try to help people out as best as we can, and hopefully set example for the rest of the country. And hopefully when it's your turn, we will be there for you. So it's been a crazy month, I'd say, Dan. It's been a crazy
Yeah.
working nonstop, very stressful, but we're getting
Again,
there.
this is Ben. This is Ben again. I don't know. You keep mentioning
What did
somebody else.
I keep on calling you that?
I don't know. I don't know what
I'll have
you're
to go
breaking
back and
up.
listen. Have to go
You're
back and
breaking
listen.
up. Your equipment's a
I
little
keep
shoddy.
on confusing our guest. His name is Ben, but that's his stage name, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
I
in
keep on
all
calling him by his real
honesty,
name.
though, we're goofing around here, and we're just trying to make you smile, make you laugh a little bit. I mean, we bring some levity, even though it's very difficult with all the tragedies. But yeah,
We're getting there. We're
my
getting
partner
there.
here
I
glued to those
think
marbles.
I could see at this point, God willing, I continue to hope and protect myself. I work very hard to make sure I can protect myself, my family, but I'm at a point now where I'm still vigilant. I'm vigilant. I think of my family whenever I go out there and I have a temporary lapse. In hand washing or whatever, touching my face. I try not to touch my face. So I can make sure I wash my hands.
Sure, everybody gets complacent.
I try not to. I'm
while.
vigilant, but I do feel like after living this whole thing for the past like 3 weeks, and it's gonna be we were on 3 weeks ago, 3.5 weeks ago, like we weren't taking this really very seriously. I remember just my daughter received confirmation. I remember being in a packed church, and now I can't even think about going in a packed church for that ceremony. And then we went out to dinner. We all dinner in a busy restaurant. There were people partying and everything in there, and it's hard to believe we went from that just from a short time ago to this atmosphere. But I do see a light, believe it or not, in this horror show of what's unfolding here in New York. I do see a light at the end of the tunnel, Dan. I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I know it's going to be a painful couple of weeks, but I feel like we're going to get. I feel like there's hope finally after all this time. Yeah, it's not. Yeah. So it's been surreal.
Did you see some of the? Yeah, it has been, and it will continue to be. Yesterday, since we are, in a cruise forum, I saw on the news that the princess, the cruise princess, I'm not sure about the name of the ship, was out at sea for a month, and they finally docked
in Miami. And
I can't
Florida.
imagine what's that like, since you've been on many cruises and I haven't. After a while, I mean, it's not even a vacation anymore, is it?
No, I'd say I don't think
long?
so. First of all, I love being on cruises, and before I respond, Dan, I just want to say hello to a few of our regulars. Andrew, I said hello. Sue is here. We have so many people watching. Kathy, thank you so much, Kathy. Kathy says that she missed us last week. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate it. Geraldine is here. We got Linda, Nancy, and Tom. What's up, Tom? Our old friend Tom is on. Fatima's here. And everybody, and let's see who's on this page, because I'm broadcasting to multiple places. Larry, what's up, Larry? Larry's here. What's going on?
I see here.
Larry's on. Larry, we got to get you on, man. We got to figure out, you got to download Facebook Messenger, the app, or Skype, so we can get Larry on. And we miss Dirk. Dirk is here, too. But, Ben, we're glad you're here. And Andrea and Anita. What's up, folks? Andrea's here. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, this is Charles. I usually host the show, the Cruise Mojo Show. With me is my good friend Ben, who joins us listening. He joins us every once in a while. He's an old friend of mine. I know him for decades, right, Dan?
Yeah, it's
decades
three
old
decades.
Friend, and he jumps on every once in a blue moon to say hello to everybody. He's a great guy, great man, and we really appreciate him. And he has a great sense of humor, even though he's kind of a jerk sometimes.
Hey, as long as it makes people laugh. If one person laughs out there, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Dan, Ben has been around for a long time. We miss Dirk. We send our regards to Dirk. Like I said, he's home in Tennessee. He's doing fine, ladies and gentlemen. He's keeping his quarantine. He is very diligent. He just didn't feel like coming on tonight.
His knives.
We originally were going to cancel, and then I was just sitting here, And I was like, you know what? I haven't been on. We skipped last week, so let me jump on and say hello to everybody. I'm still alive, folks, thankfully. I'm still doing well, and I'm being very vigilant up here in New York. Everyone knows what's unfolding up here. It's not very pretty. It's actually pretty horrific, and so we wish you guys safety and security and health. So be careful. Wash your hands. Listen to those elected officials. They're trying to help everybody, and the sooner we could all get through this, the better. Obviously, this is like craziness. I went to the supermarket, Dan. I think I was telling you, I was coming home from work late one night this week, and I had to get food. I had to get something. My daughter asked me for something. My son asked me for something, but the poor kids have been locked in the house for 3 weeks because I'm such a fanatic over this. And I had to get something. I had to stop at the store. It was like I felt like it was like an apocalypse movie when I went to the supermarket. There was no music playing.
The people had masks on and gloves and all that kind of stuff.
Gloves and mask, and it was like a weird quiet in there. There was no music. There was like, thankfully, there was plenty of food and everything, but it was so weird. It was just like this weird feeling, I was overcome with this weird feeling. I don't know. It wasn't a good feeling. I mean, I was thankful that they had the provisions that we needed, and it was well stocked, well maintained. And the staff were there. The staff were all wearing, the masks and everything that they had to wear, and gloves, and they were being helpful. But they had these now in New York City. When you're in a supermarket, when you check out, they have a single checkout line that goes up an entire aisle, and they marked out on the floor, Dan, tape every 6 feet where you should stand with an X.
Yeah.
So that you keep your 6 feet apart from whoever's in front of you and whoever's behind you. So we
stay on that point for a second, though. That self-checkout. What do you think about that? Have you had any issues?
Oh God, I hate that. I hate that thing. Did I tell you about that?
No,
that's oh my God,
that's what I thought you were going to go into.
I hate that. I hate that freaking self-checkout thing.
So
I get so aggravated going there. But anyway, they got a line going every 6 feet, and then the security guard, whenever somebody opens up, the security guard puts you in, one of the lines. I happen to get into the self-checkout line. That is the biggest piece of garbage thing. It always breaks. And now there's no bags in New York City. They don't give you plastic bags, so you got to buy a bag, and you don't know how many bags you need, and it's a big pain in the ass. So they can make 10 cents, so they could bleed you for another 10 cents and inconvenience you. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. Anyway, the self-checkout is annoying. The fact that they have no plastic bags is annoying. The whole process is annoying. But anyway, were
you able to thumb through your order, or were you just like being stopped at every time you tried to scan something and wouldn't just work?
Oh, every time there's a problem.
Yeah.
Every time with that freaking scanner, there's a problem, and then it tells you to put it. I don't even know how the machine knows if your item's in the baggage area or not. Because then you scan your item, and then you have to place it in the baggage area, and if you don't place it in the baggage
it's
area,
crazy.
If you don't place it in the can't. It doesn't let you scan anything. Please place your item in the baggage area. I was like, it's in the damn baggage area.
Yeah. And what you did need, from what I remember, is when the store manager came over to you and then just, kind of scolded you more and was like, listen, you just don't know what you're doing.
I think I'd pass out if somebody said that to me. I would freak out. I would think I would like just drop to the floor with anger. I don't know what I would do.
Didn't you read the instruction book before you got on this line? Jesus Christ.
I hate that goddamn thing. I hate that. I can't. I actually went there. I went there one morning before work too to get materials. No, materials that I needed for work actually.
Oh,
I needed materials for work. So I went. I was like, you know what? No one's gonna be there in the morning. Let me zip over there. And grab my stuff. Of course, they stopped putting the baskets out too, because the baskets, I guess they thought, could be cross-contaminated with people grabbing the handles.
So you got to just carry your groceries?
I had to carry it.
How much?
Yeah, had to carry it. Like whatever I could hold in my hands. whatever I could hold in my hands is what I brought to the
Doesn't make any
register.
sense.
So anyway, I get there. There's people now, people like with the items and and I'm like trying to get to work, and I'm balancing all this stuff in my arms.
Oh my God!
Trying to
Did
get
you go to the self-checkout again?
So I go to the self-checkout. And they have, there's 4 things with the self-checkout, 4 whatever machines that you could scan your groceries and then put them in the bag and stuff. And then they have...
What bag? I thought you said there was no bag.
Not in the bag, in the baggage area. They have 4 scanners, whatever.
Oh.
You could scan it. And the girl, the checkout person is there, and she's just trying to do a job. So I'm there. Now I'm like, I hate shopping, first of all. It's before work, so I hate it anymore. I'm trying to get to the office, and I had to come buy a few things, and I'm trying to rush there. I'm trying to rush so I can get out of there and get in the car. I don't like being there because I feel like everybody's like infectious, so I'm like everybody's skeeving me out, And anyway,
the manager there that gave you the business, was she there also?
No. So I get in line. I get in line in the freaking self-checkout, and it's broken. Like every item won't scan, and the person that come to help you there comes over and starts trying to help me out.
Messing with you. I think they're just messing with you. Now, they probably shut it down as soon as you got up.
I think they know me, but I'm saying. Yeah. So I looked at her. I looked at the poor person that they have there, and I'm like, how is this better? How is I'm screaming at her? Like, how is this better than a regular checkout? And then I realized I was so stressed out. And she didn't even, she looked at me like, oh my, like I got to deal with this guy. So I was screaming, tell me, how is this better? And then I realized,
you lost your shit.
I realized, I was like, oh man, I'm the crazy person screaming at the cashier in the supermarket.
You turned into the crazy old man.
There's always that crazy person. I was like, that morning, it was me. That morning, I was the crazy person at the supermarket. And then I realized, she doesn't know. She's just trying to do her job.
Yeah. Oh,
like she's
I had no idea.
Talk to me about the philosophy of self-checkout. That's
try to talk you down, Well, listen, this is how it's supposed to work.
Yeah, like,
I had no idea you had
this
this
is very
experience.
efficient. This is an efficient way. like what was I expecting this poor person to say? Oh, we might be lagging a little bit.
Story once before.
Yeah, I'm lagging the stream.
Is great.
But I was freaking out, upset. Oh, our stream is like slowing up. I gotta try to fix it real quick. Our bit rate is falling.
No, we're running into a disaster.
No, we might have a little bit of lag. I don't know. This happened the last time too. I don't know why all of a sudden it's so laggy. I have a feeling that it's the video. Video is taking up too much of the bandwidth, so maybe I should shut it off.
What kind of video are you playing?
In the background, I play video. Yeah, cruise ship stuff.
Yeah, but if it's
make
making a lag, cut it out.
Yeah, I did. I just did.
Remember, you don't want Cruise Mojo to turn into Cruise No Show.
Oh my God! That's gonna catch on, man. You gotta stop with that. Catching these catchphrases that you're doing. I gotta look up marine traffic.
Just as you were full steam ahead, though. That's the worst part of this whole thing. You were full steam ahead. You were doing such great shows. You continue to do great shows. The audiences were going up, and then this is like your worst nightmare. This is the worst nightmare walking in.
No, it's not convenient, but it's just fun. We're just this is all for fun. The group has been busy. Hey, Mary's here. What's up, Mary? Haven't seen Mary in a long time.
You want to come back. You want everybody the cruise industry to come back. Everybody to come back.
I hope so. Like I was trying to say earlier. I'm reading some of the comments. Tom was supposed to come into Brooklyn. We were supposed to meet and get some of that key lime pie. Remember that place? I brought you there with that. Yeah, I told Tom.
Yeah, and I bought my dad the key lime pie. I bought him the large one. Very expensive, but worth every penny.
Yeah, it's good. I told him that. He's a fan of key lime pie. That's like the best key lime pie I think I've ever had.
You would never think of it, in a pretty rough area of Brooklyn, or it's not the most popular area in Brooklyn. You would never think that you would get the most delicious key lime pie that you'd ever had.
I know, right? It's incredible.
Location. Yeah.
He's having a hard time.
Incredible.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we were talking about Tom as one of the members of our group. He was taking a cruise out of New York, and we were supposed to meet. And there's a baker in Brooklyn, in a specific area of Brooklyn called Red Hook. It's Steve's Authentic Key Lime Pie, and it's the best key lime pie I've ever had in my life. And Tom and I were supposed to go get some key lime pie.
Yep.
And he's not coming, but Tom, we'll take a rain check, man, to brighter days, and we'll get some key lime pie.
I'm in. I want to go too when Tom comes in.
Ben will join us too.
So what were you saying that he's not doing well? You talking about Steve, the key lime pie guy?
Financially, yeah, he's really, because he sold to restaurants. His main industry was, he supplied all New York City restaurants with key lime pie.
Yeah.
And I follow him on Facebook.
And
he posted the other day that this was worse. So he's been through, he was through Superstorm Sandy. He'd been through 9/11. He says this is the worst.
Yeah. I mean, the way you made it sound before, it's like you guys were friends and he called you up and told you this. I didn't realize the whole
No, I follow him. He's a good guy. He has a great personality. He's, he's very grateful for his success, and he gives back to the community. He's just a good business owner. He's a good guy. He's a strategic thinker, and he's very smart the way he manages his business. But all the restaurants are closed.
And he uses such high quality. He uses such high quality products.
Top of the line products.
Yes.
Top of the line. All top of the line stuff. And so he's struggling to get through this. So the poor guy is really having a hard time. But he'll get through it. He's ingenuity, and he'll manage. Yeah.
Everybody will get through it one way or another. But not to get self-indulgent here, but how would you like to have a nice wedge of key lime pie right now?
Oh,
with some
man.
whipped cream on top.
You know what I normally don't do this, but when I came home from work today, I worked yesterday from home. I've been working like crazy, so today I treated myself to. I had 2 Guinnesses when I got home.
Yeah, you enjoy that,
Guinness
huh?
beer.
Yeah, I'm not.
I can't even think of having key lime pie right now.
Oh, so yeah, you're all full.
When you
from
drink
the
beer,
Guinness.
it's like I love ice cream too. But if I drink, it's like you gotta have one or the other. Either you gotta have ice cream or you gotta have beer. You can't really have both. So tonight I chose the Guinness. So I'm hanging out. I had a couple of Guinnesses and doing the show.
I didn't know you were a Guinness guy. I don't think I've ever been out with you.
Guinness is okay. I like I like dark amber beers. I'm not crazy over Guinness, but I had it, so that's what
Guinness is the cousin of Guinness, but Guinness.
I like IPAs. You ever have IPAs?
Yeah, but Guinness is like a super dark lager. I mean, it's very bitter, from what I remember. Is that not true?
It's a dark lager, very heavy beer.
Yeah, very heavy, very bitter, just like a Heineken. I never was a big fan of Heineken.
I like Heineken
because, it's very strong. It's a very strong taste.
Tom is giving me shopping recommendations. He says, "How about taking reusable bags and filling them as you shop?" That's good, Tom. I like.
I'll tell you what I do. Tom, that is a good idea. But the idea that I came up with is, I keep all the big bags in the trunk of my car. And when I shop, I'll put everything back into the cart after I shop, go to my trunk, and then I'll start filling up the bags in my trunk.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so it's, you're not like wrestling with bags and, going in like a big hobo with a bunch of big bags. And, it's kind of clumsy.
Oh, Tom is going to be in New York on August 29th. Tom, let's get together August 29th, man. Hopefully the world will return to some kind of normalcy. We'll get some Steve's key lime pie at that time.
Yeah, right on the water too, and we'll chop it up and have some key lime pie. It's the best. I mean, I think that's the key lime pie that they produce to all these restaurants. I think Peter Luger's actually serves their key lime pie.
Oh, really? That's great.
Yeah, I remember having it there. It's if it's made well, it's unbelievable. It's like it's gourmet what he does. It's no joke.
Yeah, that's true. It's very high quality. Tom is asking, wonder what would happen to someone wearing a zombie costume to the supermarket. I think people would freak out.
Be arrested.
They would be arrested.
That's a felony.
Really?
Yeah, that's a felony. That's inciting a riot. That's
oh my God.
Endangering. It's just it's endangering the safety of people, and especially at these times, they've already started locking people up who are not
Yeah.
adhering to the limits of groups. And in fact, I was watching the news before, and they talked about last night in New Jersey there was a residence that was having an outdoor rock concert. They were playing Pink Floyd, something to that, like a cover band. And a bunch of the spectators and the people that were in the band were arrested because they refused to disperse. And
Oh,
it's
you're
just,
kidding. They were having like a
no.
no social distancing party. They were like
Right.
actually
They were
hard
having a no
rocking.
social. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And the cops
Oh,
came,
that's
and I
ridiculous.
don't think they wanted to arrest them. I think they just wanted to break it up, and they wouldn't, recognize the orders from the police, and they got arrested.
Good. They should. It's terrible times. They can't be testing
Yeah.
testing society at this point. Everybody's really on edge.
Yeah, and I remember the question that I had before. We were talking about de Blasio and how he's calling in for 45 to 50,000 volunteer healthcare workers. Now, these volunteers, do they need to have an expertise as a healthcare worker, or they could be are they just like laborers, for lack of a better word, people that just
We need.
need to be
I think we need
hands-on?
everybody, to be honest with you. But we need mostly we need professionals, healthcare professionals.
Yeah, but some of those, what I mean is
Nurses.
there's a lot of people that are out of work right now. A lot of city employees, the New
Oh
York
yeah.
City
Well, the
teachers.
thing is, like people like some of the jobs that don't require a license, that they could be filled by people like you said who are already in the city.
Yeah,
There's a
the city
huge demand.
employees.
Yeah, there's a huge demand of huge need for professionals at every hospital. I'm sure everybody's seen these terrible videos with what's going on in New York. There's
Yeah.
definitely a huge demand. Just the people in New York are just, as I mentioned before, exhausted. Just
Yeah, they are.
emotionally, physically, all of the above. Just the healthcare workers in New York are very resilient, but everybody has their limits. They want to be home with their families too. The whole world is home with their families, and on top of that, all the public schools closed, Dan, as you know.
Yeah, no, I know. My son's
So if you have
doing.
a young child that's in a grammar school, and you have to be their teacher also, because they're doing all this homeschooling. You can't just rely on them being able to log into Google or Classroom or whatever product
Mhm.
they're using to get the job done.
But are the
They're
teachers, are they mandated to be at their home desk from whatever it is, 8:30 to 3 o'clock? Like, no, I'm serious. Like,
I don't know.
are they? I mean, I don't have any friends that are teachers. Do you have any, friends that are teachers that have told you, like, do they consider this like their early vacation?
No,
Do they
no, they're
consider?
stressed too.
I know, I'm sure they're
Everybody.
stressed, but how are they doing this online learning? Like,
I
how much
have no
responsibility do they
idea.
have?
No
Uh,
idea. No idea how some people are managing. I think that everybody's just trying to deal with it in their own way.
hmm
You know. Um, I know my daughter, who's in 8th grade, has about. She works for it's about 4 hours of work a day on her computer.
Yeah, she's a very diligent student, though, your daughter, and I'm sure it's like that for a lot of kids out there. Like I said, I mean, I want to know what are the teachers doing to kind of push this mandate forward? Are they just giving assignments out? I have to ask my son how this
Yeah,
is
they got to do
working.
lesson plans. They got to post them. They got to digitize them. They got to post them. It's it's not so easy to get everything done. You know.
Yeah, yeah, I really haven't looked into it. I guess I should. I've been, uh,
It's Google Classroom, and then there's lessons, a
yeah.
PowerPoint slide. So the teachers are working.
Okay,
They're New
okay.
York City teachers again. They're a resilient group, but they have their limits too. And
A
if
very powerful union.
and
Very powerful.
if you don't have the technical expertise, like if you're sitting there and they tell you, oh, you got to use Google Classroom, and you're a licensed teacher or a licensed not just teachers work for the Department of Education. There's case managers, there's
Sure.
psychological,
Psychologist,
there's special education, there's
therapist. Yep.
physical therapists, occupational therapists. Now they got to figure out, they don't. Some of these people have been working there for 20 years. They don't know how to work. They don't know how to get on Google Classroom. They're used to dealing face to face with these with their clients, and so it's
I
particularly
agree, though, but in
challenging.
these times, you think that they would have had some type of training, um, but they just weren't prepared, which is understandable. Nobody really expected anything like this. But the technology has been in place for so long. You would think that they would be somewhat familiar with utilizing Google Classroom, like you said, or whatever other software that they need to use. I just I don't. All I know is that they have a very, very powerful union, and that
That they
yeah,
do.
it's just the. I mean, it was a few years ago now, I think, but in was it Delaware? Um, it was a middle of the country state that or
Indiana.
Wisconsin, I think it was.
No,
It was
Wisconsin.
Indiana. There was it Indiana? Was
I'm not sure.
whatever? But the governor um, fought the union, the teachers union, because they were demanding all these concessions and more time off. I think they wanted 4 months vacations instead of three. Not sure exactly what the specifics were, but he broke the union, and they were talking for a while that maybe New York would try to do that. So I don't know. Maybe that's something that
Yeah.
I have to go back and look at the data how Indiana or Wisconsin, whichever state it is, uh, since they've did away with the union, how they've been functioning the Department of Education for that state.
So Dan, I'm gonna post a question to the group right now. We're losing a little bit of the
Sure.
audience. Um, and
Really,
I and
this
I
is some
wanna.
entertaining stuff.
It is. I wanna know. Oh, how come I can't do the? How come we can't? I can't add a live poll. I wonder. So I posted a question. When do you think the cruise industry will go back to how it used to be? Uh oh.
Wow. It's incredible over all these years how proficient you've gotten with computers and writing programs and things like that. Do you
Oh, did you
remember
get
when
did you
you
get the
first
alert? Did you get the alert? The question?
what alert?
Oh, the Wisconsin. You getting being corrected. Wisconsin Governor Walker. That's right. It was that guy Walker.
Oh, yeah, I think you mentioned Wisconsin. I mean, or it was me.
I
No,
don't
it
know. I
doesn't
don't know.
matter.
I don't know what I
Either way,
said.
I think you said Indiana
I had too
actually.
many Coronas. Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. But yeah, well, I lost my train of thought. I was going to
How come I
mention
can't? So
something.
I posted a live question.
Oh, that's what it was. I'm sorry, it was. That's what it was. You had become so proficient in computers, and you love it so much.
Fall.
And we used to make fun of you with the dial-up modems that we used to have. You used to,
Remember those?
occupy the phones.
Oh
Yeah,
my
you
God.
would never, we would never be able to get in touch with you because this was before cell phones,
That's right.
and the only way to get in touch with him
I only
would
had
be
one
to
phone
call
line.
on his landline, and he would be occupied 23 out of the 24 hours a day
That's right.
with the internet. And
You couldn't
one
get to
time
it.
he said that he'll never give up the internet or the computer, and they'll have to, I guess, detach the keyboard from his cold dead fingers, something like
I
that. He
remember
mentioned something like.
you vowed to me one day, I will never call you again, because my phone
That's
was
right.
always busy.
Oh, it's so frustrating. It was like archaic times. It was only about 20 years ago, but it's so archaic at this point.
All right, so I posted a question to the group. I want to see it. So the audience is dropping. We gotta wrap it up soon anyway.
Oh, really?
That's a tough question. So I posed a question to the group. When do you think we'll go back to cruising? I happen to think we will not. I think it'll happen in stages, and I think it'll probably start with Florida, or New York or Florida, and I think it'll be July, maybe the end of
No,
July. When do you think?
no, a year from now. A
Really?
year from now. Yes. There's no way by July the hysteria, even if there's a vaccine, hopefully, that they come up with between now and then, people are going to be so traumatized, and people are going to
August.
probably suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder is what it's going to amount to
Oh,
be.
this is terrible.
And
Yeah.
I just think that it's going to really take a long time for people to get over this and their fear. And by July, I think I'd rarely bet against that.
So you think things will? I think it'll get back to normal this time next year, but I think that the cruise industry is going to be forced to start. Either I think there's two tracks. Either they're going to get the okay from the government to start up again. Because think about the repercussions if they cruise again and people start getting sick.
Yeah,
And like then you have
absolutely.
this sick ship. You see this ship that just docked in Florida. They have all these sick people. Can you imagine being on that ship? How terrified you would be if you were an older adult and you know maybe had asthma or diabetes or something, and you got these sick
Hmm.
people on you. It's a death sentence.
Sure, sure.
So I think it's so frightening. I think that in a limited way they might get back. I think they're going to struggle. They'll probably have like 25 to 50% capacity beginning this July, and I think that you're right.
Oh,
I think it won't go back until there's a vaccine, which they're anticipating will be not until next year, until people feel
yeah,
safe and
six
secure again.
6 to 9 months. I think they said something like that at the earliest. But they're going to have to give the cruises away for people to go on. People aren't going to just readily pay for a cruise to go on. It's just not going to. I can't see it. I can't see it. I think they're going to have to start giving stuff away for people to start going
I
on,
think
and
you're
then
right.
maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right. They're gonna have to give some incentives, and the incentives comes in the form of low price vacation. I bet you they
Mm,
would do it even if they break even, just to keep their employees and their ships running. But they have two tracks. Either they
of
could
course.
start up again, or I think in the worst case scenario, what do you think I'm gonna say? What do you think they would do in the face of this kind of challenge to their industry?
I think they're running out of ideas. I don't think they have any ideas. I don't think any options are available to them, and it could kill the industry.
I think that they could file for Chapter 11 and then go out of service and then start up again,
Yeah, but I think there's enough
right?
time has to pass. Yeah, I think that's definitely the strategy that's probably going to be taken, but enough time has to pass. Like years, I think has to pass for them to just kind of let everything settle and then come back, and then time does heal all wounds, as they say. But
What would they
this
do
is
with all
going
the
to burn.
ships? I mean, each one of those ships is like $1 billion,
They'd have to
literally.
dry dock it. They'd have to dry dock it and kind of just put it on ice. But I mean, I guess it depends on the time frame of how long it's going to be that they'll be quote unquote out of business. The technology might advance in that time. They might have to, make new ships. Who knows? I mean, if they file Chapter 11, all their assets are going to be sold. I mean, that's what happens. I mean, it's they're going to be picked apart. I mean, I think by far the industry that has been affected the most long term would be the cruise industry.
And the restaurant industry. I think people that are not going to go out to eat like they used to anymore.
Yeah, but they're
Without
going to
giving
be.
your I mean, imagine your restaurant, some guy next to you is like hacking a cough or
Yeah,
something. You'd be totally freaked out by it.
of course. But I mean, they're going to be more apt to go back out to dinner sooner than they will booking a cruise to Wuhan, Japan, or wherever the hell these
Yeah.
cruise lines, go to. It's just, it, I just can't see it. I can't see it.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. I think this is going to take a very long time to recover. I think this is unprecedented historical
Oh,
time. And I was
unthought.
reading there's a couple of personalities on YouTube and on Twitter. There's people that go on cruises and they're cruise personalities, I guess you can call them. And I guess Dirk and I are one of them. I guess we're kind
Hmm.
of cruise
Yeah,
personalities.
sure, you're
But
in
we
that
don't go
group.
out. We don't really go out. We don't put ourselves on camera. And one of the things I try to avoid doing is preaching. I don't like preachers. I don't like people that preach to the general public on what to do and how to do it. So Dirk and I try to avoid that. We just try to be commentators almost, and the audience that we, the it's like almost like crowdsourcing. We crowdsource some of the best information for the members
Hmm.
based on all of our members in the group. I think the crowd knows better than the individual, and but they're
The
hurting. There's
trend.
there's like
Hmm.
well, there's a couple of people who actually did this full time, who like full time like YouTubers and cruisers, and they would go on and and they're just like, I can't believe I left my job. What did I in the worst
Yeah.
time in history to do
And
this?
they're not the only industry. I mean, there's a big fan base for Disney, Walt Disney, anything Disney. So there's people who have YouTube channels for Disney vacations and upgrades at Disney parks, and all that stuff is all put on hold. I mean, because there is nothing going on right now.
Yeah, it's craziness. But there's a couple of
It's,
comments from the group members, Dan.
Sure, let's listen.
Tom says, I work on a cruise. I work on the cruise ship anyway. So we have one of our longtime members, great travel advisor, and good friend of ours, Tom. When he goes on vacations, he brings his laptop and he actually does some office work. That's how he cruises.
Smart.
Yeah, he's smart. And so he says he works on the ship anyway. I would do a cruise with my laptop now. Only me on a ship in a deluxe suite sitting in Anchorage. I would do the same thing, Tom, if I could make sure people keep my distance.
So he's saying that he'll be the emperor of the ship and be the only one on there? Is that what he's saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
The deluxe suite. Him and his laptop working. I don't blame him. I do the same thing, Tom. Just keep your distance, I'd say. 6 feet.
There was a guy a long time ago. They used to call him Caesar. That's exactly what
that'll be Tom. Caesar of the Norwegian Encore will be Tom.
Yeah. Walk the ship like Jack Nicholson in The Shining, walking that mansion.
Oh my God, that was a great movie.
Sure was.
We have Kathy who's saying the restaurant industry going to be hit real hard, especially small restaurants. I work in the industry and it's going to be tough getting people back. I agree, Kathy. It's going to be really tough.
And
we're going to see a lot of people go out, and then the commercial real estate business is going to suffer because really the only thing keeping them alive are medical businesses and restaurants, and banks. Like, everywhere you go, like if I own commercial property and I got a bank in there, I would think I hit the lottery.
And I can empathize with the with Kathy with the restaurants because I worked in the restaurant business for over 10 years. And it's they depend on their tips. They depend on getting there 4 or 5 shifts in a week, and it's terrible. It's just
hopefully they'll take advantage of that federal. There's some kind of federal in the bailout. There's some help for restaurant workers, I believe. So hopefully, we'll have some scrupulous business owners that'll take care of their employees during this terrible period.
I've heard some horrendous stories. I'm sure people have, in the group as well. Landlords sending out mass emails to their tenants saying that the rent is still due, and really just trying to take advantage of the situation, or not even to offer some assistance. It's just disgusting how human beings can, kind of put money as their god instead of,
especially now.
Community.
I think now there'll be a new appreciation for our way of life too after this whole thing is
I think so too. I think that you're gonna laugh, but Chuck and I have been avid Star Trek fans for forever. We watch the movies, the TV shows, all that kind of stuff. And, if you see the theme in the Star Trek universe, it's that, they've kind of transcended this monetary system. And they kind of live in this community type of setting where everybody's got their job, but there's... Do you know what I'm talking about, Chuck?
Yeah, but they're in a ship. They're in a ship. Hopefully there's no coronavirus on that ship.
No, I get that. But there's also, they're on a ship. They're in, they're on the Earth. They're all over the place. I mean, it's just Anyway, it should go to that in that direction, especially after this. Not only a scare, but all reality.
Yeah. Brunilda says that there'll be some kind of medical pre-check going on. I don't disagree with her. I think that's going to be that's kind of is one now. You got to fill out a piece of paper, but it was more focused on like what's that virus, the norovirus, Brunilda. Now I think you're right. That'll probably be both norovirus and this.
A pre-check before you get on the cruise?
Yeah, but that pre-check it's ridiculous. Like for the norovirus, you could say whatever you want. You check it off. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's people that. It's a different world now. That's when people wanted to go on the cruise ships. Now people are dreading even the thought of being trapped on, a giant petri dish.
I don't know. A lot of people, you'd be surprised. A lot of people are just dying to get back on ships.
Of course. I mean, the idea of it, of course. I mean, I would even go on a cruise at this point if it was safe and if it was something that didn't, offer this potential death, I mean, but right now it's not like that. I mean, of course you want to go back to the way it was. That's just not reality.
It's craziness. I'm putting on a different video. I'm sick of this video now. I had a sunrise going up. I got to pick a different video.
You should put on some videos that, make people laugh, like...
Dock runners.
No. Remember that video of
I love
Shaquille O'Neal I showed you? That where he made that he tripped, and then they made all those memes about him. You should put those on and make
Oh, we
people
gotta
laugh a little
watch that.
bit.
We gotta plan that though. That's hard to get into now. We're almost done. We only got about another 7 minutes
It's
here.
too bad. I like the interview where they have people come in for interviews and behind
Oh, can you imagine that guy? Can you imagine that guy? He tripped the freaking live TV, millions of people watching. Oh my
and
God, that
he's
was terrible.
huge. He's like a
He
building. A
had to play it
building
off. He
came
did a good
down.
job though. He played it off.
Oh yeah, Shaq is he's a master improviser, and he just kind of rolled with it, and that's what you got to do. I mean, if he would have been all embarrassed, and everybody would have broke his chops.
Oh my God. Well, I hope that not only that cruises get back going soon, but that they're also safe. That's what I hope. I hope that there's a high degree of safety and a higher degree of enjoyment on those cruises because without safety you can't have a good time. Everybody's going to be fanatic over who's sitting next to them and if somebody coughs or whatever. So hopefully
There's people out there that do that just to prompt a reaction. I mean,
yeah.
we talked about it before, where you have all these videos of people intentionally sneezing on elevator buttons or whatever, just spreading their germs maliciously, with intent to cause
animals
harm. It's incredible. Did you see? There was this kid in some Walmart. He licked one of the ice creams, and they had to dump out all the ice creams. He was charged with a felony.
Really? I didn't see that.
As a prank. He did like a YouTube prank, and he opened up a freezer and took out one of their ice creams and opened the lid and licked it and put it back. And
he was arrested, right?
Yeah, he was arrested. He was charged. Actually,
good for him.
There was a lady who just did something like that locally in a supermarket, and they had to clear out all the.
Oh, I saw that. She caused like $30,000 and had to throw away $30,000 worth of produce because of that lady.
Yeah, just to be stupid and think to do something that would make people laugh, or in some sick way you'd laugh at it, but I don't know what people are thinking sometimes.
If somebody did that, I wouldn't laugh at that. I'd be like, "What the hell are you doing?"
No, not you. I didn't mean you personally. Like that person doing it, like they would, find enjoyment out of it. I can't see it. I mean, it's just there's jokes and there's fooling around and there's stupidity.
Yeah.
And that's just stupid.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Let me say hello to a few people. We got Mike is here. What's up, Mike? Who else is new here? Let me just read in the comments there. Ben. I'm so used to saying Dirk. Hoping fall. Oh, so Andrew says he thinks the fall will start going smoothly. The Portuguese have to be ready. Plus the ports of call will take time. I agree. Yeah, Andrew thinks by the fall things will get back to normal. Let me look at another line of comments. Nancy thinks that in addition to the medical pre-check, there'll be no self-service at the buffet. I happen to agree with you, Nancy. They're gonna have to have people standing there plating.
I happen to hear a story. I have happened to have heard a story about buffets and buffet lines where people have gone up and taken the whole chafing dish and taken it back to the table,
we talked about that on here.
I think that is outrageous.
We talked about that on here. You believe that?
No. I'm sure it happened, but I can't believe that nobody didn't go up and say, "What the hell are you doing? What are you doing?"
Oh, I think people did. Who's Miri? Tom says, "How about Miri from Star Trek?" Who's Miri? I don't know who that character is.
Miri,
Tom, you must be a bigger Trekkie than I.
Oh my God, he just blew us out of the water.
Yeah,
we know Kirk, we know Spock, and we know Chekhov.
Those are the three staples. We probably know more than that. Maybe that's from the Next Generation, Miri from Star Trek. I don't know, Tom.
Yeah, well,
I do like the Star Trek: The Next Generation. I think it was more realistic than the original series, but I don't recall who Miri is. I'm sure Tom will tell us. Bobby says he personally thinks the federal government will step in for the cruise lines. There are too many businesses related to these ports. These sail out of that will be hurt. Hotels, shuttle services, airlines, etc. I don't know, Bobby. I saw some news that they're not helping the cruise lines because they don't pay taxes in the United States. They register their ships in other countries. And I think that's
same thing like Apple. Apple
Yeah.
doesn't, tries to avoid all these taxes by having all their money in Ireland. But getting back to Miri, this is interesting. Did you say Tom
Yeah, Tom.
said this? It's uh, it's a character from the original series in the episode 8 in season number 1. It says Kirk and the landing party discover a replica Earth trapped in the year 1960 and inhabited only by children. After learning that a plague has wiped out all the adults, the crew fear that they will become the next victims of the disease. So yeah, he kind of,
Oh,
um,
really? Oh, I gotta
and
look
that's
up
the
that
name.
episode. Is
That's
that
the
from?
name of the episode. That's the name of the episode, Miri.
Is that the original series or is that one of the newer
Yes.
series? Really? I
No,
gotta
it's the
check that one
original
out.
series, season 1, episode 8. Oh, that was a good call. And that's the
Good
name.
call,
That's
Tom.
again. That's the name of the episode, not a character.
I gotta check that out. Pretty wild, Tom. Bobby, I don't know, Bobby. Bobby's the guy that said he thinks that they're gonna get a bailout. I don't know. I think I think the feds are hitting them hard because they've been avoiding paying federal taxes. I don't know, Bobby. We'll see. Tom is asking where the Spirit is heading. I don't know. I noticed that too, Tom. I don't know where it's going. The Spirit, the Norwegian Spirit is one of the vessels of the Norwegian cruise line. Line of ships, Ben, and it's like in South Africa, heading northwest. I noticed it on the map. I don't know where it's going.
Do they still have ships out there? I thought it was just shut down. Is it? Is there
I
still
saw
ships?
there's a few. Like I'm surprised too. Like there was that one steaming out of South Africa. I don't know where that was going. I don't know where that one was going. I have no clue.
But there
where
was
that was.
passengers on there. You saw them like
No, there's
on
no.
voyage.
There's definitely no passengers on it. But they
Oh.
they were playing this whole episode. But the ship is moving. The ship is here. I'm looking at it. It's heading northeast.
I didn't even realize that the airline industry is
BBBGI.
still. The airline industry is still operating. I thought they were all grounded at this point, but apparently not.
No, yeah, I saw that they're still operating too, but limited. Like it's only for like necessary travel. That's what they're calling it. So they must have just kept on like a contingency of needed itineraries for those planes to travel on,
Yeah.
just to keep the business going. And those ships have to run. Like if they're not running, that's it. It's gonna take a lot of time and energy to get them back up to where they needed to be.
Sure. Yeah. It's a strange time. It's strange times for sure.
Oh, it's
I
horrendous.
walk every day. I walk a couple miles a day, and you just it's a very eerie feeling walking past very few people, not seeing much traffic. The parking lots that they have near where I live and where I walk that people park at to and take the train to the ferry. They're all
Deserted.
empty.
Wow.
They're usually always full, and you can't even find a spot in there. They're all empty. There's not
Yeah.
one car.
I'm telling you, it was like that my experience at the supermarket. It was so bizarre. People were looking at each other like they were enemies. It was like you're living in a different universe.
Yeah. Well, let's leave the people. Let's leave our audience on a high note. Let's give them a really good story.
Let me hold on. Let me read some more comments. Miri.
Oh, all right.
Oh my, Miri was one of the original series early episodes. All people died on her planet due to disease when puberty set in. I gotta check that out, Tom. Mary Jo says, hello, Mary Jo. How you doing? What are your thoughts on canceling now and cutting my losses? I will lose $100 deposit and my prepaid insurance. I think I would cancel.
Dump it.
Don't go by
Dump
me.
it.
That's Joy.
No, I'm telling a dump
Joy,
it.
I am a super conservative when it comes to this stuff. I'm also a paranoid lunatic, and I would cancel.
Dump it.
And I'm
When
a
is this-
noted
when is this
pessimist.
cruise taking place?
Noted pessimist. So I always dream of the worst case scenario. Her cruise is in October. I
It's in
believe what she's
October.
saying.
Well, I mean, if she's only going to lose $100, why not wait? Unless she has
Right.
to cancel
She's
it
gonna
now.
lose her insurance. It depends on what her insurance is. If she got one of those top of the line ones, she might have spent $2,000 on insurance. Who knows? We'll see, Joy. I don't know, Joy. That's a tough call. Only you can make that call. But I'm very conservative when it comes to decisions like that. So if you would
I
ask
didn't
my
realize it was
sister,
October. Yeah.
if you would ask my sister, she'd be like, "What are you crazy? Of course you don't cancel." I have two sisters with the opposite personalities.
Yeah.
Let me
That's
see.
the trick, though. It's so far out. I mean, it's not. October is,
That's wild.
optimistically is, It's not unrealistic, but yeah. I mean, I guess you got to cut your losses. It's the law of diminishing returns at this
Yeah,
point.
one of the ships, the Pacific Princess, which is the Princess Cruises, which is
Mm-hmm.
part of Carnival, and that happens to be the name of the ship in the series, The Love Boat. Dan, you've
Sure, Captain Subin.
still has small. I don't know why there are still even passengers on ships. So that ship's Tom is saying that ship is heading to Hawaii. Delta was down from 400 flights to 15. Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Someone has a dryer. You have a dryer running, Dan? Is that your? You have a dryer running in the background? Is that a zipper from like a sweat jacket or something making that noise?
No, I don't hear anything. Why, you hear something?
In the background, I heard noise.
This mic is so.
One of
this
the
mic
listeners.
is so powerful.
One of the listeners too. I heard it. I kind of like was going to ask you, but one of the listeners, Brunilda, was
I've been outed,
beat
man.
me to it.
I'm hanging out at a laundromat. It's all
He's
free.
riding
All
out,
the
riding
all
out the
dryers are
virus,
free.
riding out the virus in a laundromat.
I'm taking advantage of the fact that the laundromat is empty, and I can, I have my choice of washer, dryer. They have ironing there you can do. It's all good stuff.
Marianne says, "Hi, Chuck and Dirk. Hope cruising come back soon." Me too. Me too. And Nancy says, "Coral Princess still has patches." I don't know how these people stay on these ships, but crazy times, ladies and gentlemen. Dan, that's an hour already. Believe it or not, we're done with our hour. But if anybody has any questions out there, we still got a bunch of listeners. If you want to type it in, we'll be happy to answer. But
I have a question.
What's up?
Let's leave the audience on a good note with a nice, funny story from your past. Can I suggest something?
Sure.
How about when you were at the Oriental Manor?
I know what you're gonna say.
So tell that story.
Joe Slide?
Yes.
Oh my God! I don't know. I can't tell that story.
Oh, you gotta. People are on the edge of their seats right now.
Oh man, there's not that many people listening. I don't know if I should tell that story. I won't come out funny. It's got to be natural. But suffice to say, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Slide got his name because he was holding a giant chafing dish. We would clean. I was a waiter at one point in my life when I was in high school. And Joe Slide got his nickname because he was holding, I can't even say
the
it.
chafing dish is
Without
scalding hot water.
He was holding a chafing I'm laughing. He was scalding hot water that was for cocktail hour at one of our parties that we were waitering at. And we were hastily taking everything back to the kitchen because we had to go upstairs for the party. We were cleaning up cocktail hour. And he had this smoking, steaming, chafing dish that was filled with hot water. It was so hot.
Oh,
and we were all rushing back to the kitchen, and there was an ice cube on the floor. And on his right foot, he stepped on the ice cube, and he slid. In my mind, he slid 30 feet. And while he was balancing the hot water, but in my mind, I remember him sliding across the room. Probably only slid like a foot, but he slid. I don't even. You know what? To this day, I don't remember his last name because we called him Joe Slide. And then because he slid on that ice cube with that chafing, then he balanced himself.
He didn't go down.
Like, whoa! You know when you're riding a bike and like you lose your balance and you whoa, like you have to balance him. That was how he was with the chafing dish.
Well, he recovered and he didn't fall down.
He
didn't go down.
recovered. He slid on that ice cube, balancing on one foot, sliding on the ice cube with the chafing dish. So he earned the nickname Joe Slide. I wish I could remember him because I would like to look him up now because it was so funny.
Is he
But
the
he was
same
a hard-working
guy
guy.
Is he the same guy that would go to the diner and get the 2 burgers?
So, yeah, I was just about to say that. Then we would go every time we finished waitering. We would be exhausted. The wedding would be over. It was a wedding waitering, so I worked at a catering hall. And we would go to this local diner, and I'm talking about, Dan, this is like in the 80s. This is like the late 80s when diners were like still a thing.
The Vegas
Diner. And he would order the twin cheeseburger platter. And from that night on, we called that the Joe Slide Burger. Because his name was Joe Slide, and that's what he would get at the end of every shift. He'd get the twin cheeseburger platter, which now we call the Joe Slide Burger. So very funny.
Now everybody knows a bit of your past with Joe Slide, and
Oh, Joe
that was a
Slide. I
great
wonder what
story.
happened to him. I wonder what happened to that guy. We got a bunch of stories with that guy. You know what it was with him? He was a quiet guy, but he was such a. He would work like 7 days. He would work like every night. He would go to school during the day. I bet you he's a big. Whatever he's doing, I bet you he's a big success because he was so motivated to succeed. He worked at different places. He just wanted to work and make some money. I got the impression that his family didn't have a lot of money, and he was like really working hard to put himself to make a life for himself. So God bless Joe Slide. I hope he's good.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's a legend.
He's
a legend just
the
because
legend
of that one
Joe. I'm gonna write
maneuver.
a short story called "The Legend of Joe Slide" one day.
The infamous Ice Cube.
Oh my God! Shh, he went skating across the floor. It's like I've seen that in a movie. It was great.
Yeah, you didn't tell the audience that, while he was walking across the dance floor with that chafing dish full of boiling hot water, you spilled out a bunch of ice cubes, and you were trying to get him to
way.
slide.
Oh man, I don't know who spilled the ice. I think it was like I think it was a wedding guest,
Randy
whoever.
Cube yeah. Oh my
Oh
God.
man, funny time. I
That's
missed
some
those.
dangerous
Those
stuff.
were some simpler times back then, but
Yeah,
lots of
that
fun.
was slavery. That working in a restaurant back then. Some of the stuff that I did, carrying up dance floors from the basement, and it just like slave drivers. But hey, we
Yeah, I know. We
worked
worked very hard. That's a very labor-intensive job, waitering and waitressing. Can you hear this if
right.
I do this? Can you hear
Don't
that?
hear anything. No. What are you doing?
I got these sound effects on my Stream Deck that I put in. I can make like little boos and.
What are people doing at?
I'm just whatever. I'm just playing the sound effects. I can make boos. I can make laughs. I'm delirious.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I first started in the restaurant business, I was a busboy. I started out as a busboy. And I was getting a bus box, and I was pulling it out to bring into the kitchen. It was full to capacity, and I dropped it right in the middle of a wedding. And everything just stopped dead. It was one of the most
What did you drop?
embarrassing things I've ever done. It was a bus box full of all dirty plates and tissues. And
I mean, like a big crash.
yes, yeah.
Oh, you know what
it
you
was
should have
like-
did? You should just collapse to the floor and lay next to it. And let an ambulance take you away.
I wanted to just disappear. I was so mortified,
Oh,
It was
that's not.
too
You know what I
bad.
did? We used to have. I worked at a place. These wedding places in the '80s used to have like these big ceremonies to make them different than every other catering hall that was out there. And I remember I was at one of those places, and they had this like thing in the beginning. They would do, the walk through with the bride. Like the DJ would get up, they'd make the bride walk through. Everybody would hold all the groom, whatever. What do they call them? The groomsmen and the brides, whatever. What do they call them? The bridal party.
Yeah, the bridal party, right?
They would like
Groomsmen
put
and the
their arms
bridesmaids.
up and make an arch, and the new bride and groom would walk underneath the arch and present themselves to all the guests. Everybody clapped.
This was very
And then we
big
would-
in the Italian culture,
then-
just
oh,
so
yeah.
everybody knows.
Oh
This
yeah,
is-
yeah, oh yeah. And then we would pop champagne, and we would start, serving. Once they walked in, all the waiters would pop champagne, and we would gather around these, gather around the dance floor. The bridegroom walk in. When they got to the end, we would pop the champagne in unison, and then go around to everybody to get ready for the toast. So I popped, and it was pink champagne. So I popped this pink champagne. The bride and the groom were walking by me, and she had this long train. I popped this pink champagne. It started flying out, like overflowing onto the dance floor. Right, it came within an inch of her train, and she was like a cat, like out of the corner of her eye. She saw like the champagne like flowing out, and she grabbed her train, and she like whooshed it out of the way.
Saved it?
She saved it. It was like perfect timing.
Was she
But
pissed at
everybody
you?
but the whole place was like, oh! That was like one of your moments, like when you drop that chafing, when you drop that thing and
I
it'll
dropped the bus
crash.
box.
The bus box.
Yeah.
That's a similar thing happened to me. I popped the champagne. The whole crowd was like, whoa!
Uh-huh. I've dealt with some
Bad
nasty
news.
people though in the restaurant business. I was waitering a party once, and I was carrying a tray with drinks on it, and I passed by this woman who was smoking, and she burnt my arm as I passed by.
Oh, my
And I looked back, and she, you would think she would say, "Oh, sorry," She said to me, "Oh, that's your fault. You didn't watch where you were going." It just really just people just have no class, no class at all.
I hear you. Yeah, a lot of people don't, especially in the supermarket when those people yell at those poor cashiers who are just trying to do their job.
Yeah, I tell you. That's...
Oh, you didn't get it. That was me. That was me the other day.
I know. With the self checkout. With the self checkout.
Can we play? I'll get it, Tom. Tom is asking about my sound effects. If I could play the Love Boat theme, I will. Though I'll load it up, Tom. I haven't loaded it.
Let me tell you this really quick. This will be good.
Uh-huh.
A friend of mine, when we were in grammar school, we were in grade school. He worked for this place. If anybody remembers, it was called Nutrisystem. It was like a Weight Watchers, but they also provided the food. Do you remember this place, Nutrisystem?
Oh yeah, I remember that. I did it.
Okay.
I did it for months.
Oh.
I lost a lot of weight on Nutrisystem.
Yeah, because they starve you. But
Yeah.
back then, he was working. He was like a stock boy and stuff. And this lady came in, and she was yelling and screaming about one of the products. And he was just, he was like a 15-year-old kid, vacuuming up the floor, just doing menial stuff. And she wasn't getting anywhere. And she looked at him, and she was in a rage. And she says, "Don't you think I'm right?" And he was like, he was terrified. and I
That poor kid. That reminds me of something. That we're going like way over. Go ahead. What happened to that story?
We're going deep. So he was so shocked and so stunned. He just says, "No, I don't agree with you at all." He said, and she went berserk. She went totally berserk.
You know what that reminded me of? You remember that episode of Seinfeld where Jerry's father invents the screwdriver with an A?
Oh, that's George's father.
George's father. I want to say Jerry's father. Yeah, George's father invented a new screwdriver, and his theory was he took the A from an old typewriter and put it onto the screw, and then he made a screw with the A indentation, and he was going to revolutionize it. And he went to the hardware store, and the kid is like behind the counter. This young kid who's totally stoned.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, how many of these you want to buy?" And he was, "I don't know, like 50,000." You remember that?
Yeah,
that was so funny. Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, and then you put the A in the corresponding A-hole." Oh man, that was one of the best episodes. That was good.
Oh, he was the most underrated character. He was probably the best underrated character on that show, Frank Costanza.
No, I agree. All right, we got to wrap it up, Dan. We're losing our audience quick, and we got to say goodnight to everybody out there, and wish you all health and well-being. So make sure you protect yourself. You don't want to hear all the rules. You know what you got to do, folks. Be cautious, be conscientious, be vigilant. Listen to your elected officials. Be patient.
And be patient when you are self-checking out of Food Town or wherever it is
that's
shopping.
Right.
Just be patient. Don't go bananas and be one of those people that says, "Don't you agree with me?"
Oh, I was losing it. I'm losing it. But we'll get through it. And Dan, I'm working hard to stay healthy. Glad to hear that you're healthy, and I'm glad to see all our regulars are healthy. So, ladies and gentlemen, protect yourself out there. This will be over soon enough, and hopefully we can get back to the world of cruising and enjoy ourselves and listening to the calypso music with the sun setting in the distance. And soon enough, we'll be there, folks. So stay safe. We'll see you next week.
In the meantime, I'll be back on the air next week, and we will discuss all things.
We'll discuss 80s Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. Glad that you could join us tonight, and we'll see you soon enough next Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time for the Cruise Mojo Show. Until then, this is Chuck and Ben. We wish Dirk well. Hope to see him next week. And, Ben, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's always a pleasure hearing your voice. And we'll see everybody.
Joe Slide.
Joe Slide Burger.
That's it.
And we'll see you next week, everybody. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Take care.